Welcome to Afro Sport Now International. We'll start with news from the FIFA Women's World Cup, where Lauren James' straight red card against England has been reviewed, and she has been handed a 2-game suspension. James will miss England's quarterfinal match against Colombia on Saturday and will only be available for selection if the Lionesses make it to the final of the tournament. The Chelsea star was initially handed a yellow card for stepping on Michelle Alozie, but it was upgraded to a red card after a VAR review. James has been a crucial figure in Sarina Wiegman's team in Australia and New Zealand, with her contribution of 3 goals and 3 assists in 3 matches, proving very, very vital for the Lionesses. Joining us live from Switzerland is Nigerian coach of FC Vatican in the league out there in Switzerland. Coach Adeyemi Adedeji is here. Great to have you, Coach. Hello, Coach.
I can hear you. It's good to be here once again.
Right,
can you hear me?
So let's just get to it very, very quickly. I'm sure you saw the game between the Super Falcons and how they painfully exited the tournament against the English. Tactically, I've been dying to ask a coach what went wrong. The English went down to 10 men, and still the Falcons couldn't take advantage of the man advantage.
Yeah, the thing what went wrong was the coach make a wrong decision by changing the players at more. The coach still depend on the same system, the philosophy he started the game with, which is the one-man striker. When you have a player down, that is when you have to change your playing system to 3-5-2 or 3-4-3, so that you can have 2 strikers up front that is more who have the mentality of offensive football. But at the end of the day, what makes England has dominion over us is because they sit back, they decide to play 4-4-1. So now we couldn't be able to penetrate the defense of the England women national team.
You also heard about, you probably saw the tackle from Lauren James. She's now been handed a 2-game ban by the organisers of the tournament, FIFA. She'll miss the quarterfinal and the semi-final if England get that far, but she will play in the final. A couple of Nigerians thought maybe she'd get a longer ban. Is that being sentimental? 2 games seems fair enough.
What really happened is that we know that the situation was indecent and it's unsporting behavior. But at the same time, the media played a vital role when it comes to getting the punishment from the referee. Why did I say so? She came out to give an apology that she know what she did is bad, and that makes the committee to sit up and then look at the incident and decide to give her to suspension.
All right, so you obviously have been a coach here in Nigeria before going to Switzerland. You saw the whole debacle between FIFPro, the Nigerian team, and the NFF, and of course the Falcons manager, Randy Waldrum. How big a performance, how big of a turnaround did the Falcons have at this World Cup? Were you surprised, especially with everything that went on around the team? And is that normal in Nigerian football?
For me, I'm not surprised the way the Super Falcons they played in the World Cup, because I know that we have a lot of potential, individual quality in the team. It all depends on the coach who can get the tactic right. That is the reason what the objective of the coach is to go to play defensive-minded. That is why it can be able to play counter-attack with defensive-minded. So for me, I'm not surprised what happened. But at the same time, when you are in the situation of going to a World Cup, I don't think it's the best time for a coach to come out in public to go against your employer and professional enough.
All right, so where do you see the future? What do you think the future holds for this Super Falcons squad? And would you be in support of keeping the manager, despite the fact that he's come out and almost said a lot of things about the NFF that the guys at the top will not be too happy about?
Those things he said about the NFF, we know that it's a public assault to a country, to the NFF, to me as a citizen of Nigeria. We know what went wrong between the NFF and the coach is not so good. We understand that they have to pay him his money, but he don't have the right to come out in public. For me, if I have to assess his the way the team played in the World Cup, I will give kudos to more to the girls because they are determined, they are fit to implement to carry out the obligation, which is defensive minded. But if you look at how the coach himself did in the last match against England, you know that the coach's the capacity and the competence is not good enough. When you have a player for 35 minutes, red card, the opponent has a red card for 35 minutes, and you could not even implement all the tactical philosophy, and you still stick with them you play and look at the changes you made. 2-3 changes are wrong changes. For me, I think the coach has done what he can do. It's the best time for them to allow somebody who have more knowledge of the game to take over for him.
So if I get you right, I need you to say that loud and clear. The coach has to go.
For me, if I have to decide yet, I would say it is time for him to carry his bag and go.
All right. Thank you very, very much, Coach Adedeji, for joining us. I will talk to you some other time then.
Always welcome. It's a pleasure to be here.